So how do we do that? Because again, I can't, it's one of those things. I can't sit there and I can read all the books I want on childbirth. But I'm never going to be able to describe what it's really like because I'm never going to be able to be in that position to do that. And I'm not in that position um, to explain to or deal, yeah, fully understand what it's like to be in a father position. And certainly, I mean, I'm a father now, and I take my son with me. My one of my best friends has a Grand Prix party, which is very blokey, not not misogynistic, but it's fart jokes. And we occasionally, women. It's not like women are not invited. Every now and then, one of the partners will come and never come back again. It's like she's made to feel very welcome, but we're telling fart
So
jokes.
women have got their thing and they do it so much better. They
Yeah.
just get on and do their womanly thing.
But how do we create that? Because I said I can't relate to this experience of you're talking about the father son bonding that men are missing out on. How do we create that for men that have missed out?
Damien, you can't hand on very easily what you haven't got and what you don't have an experience. So you do the best with what's in your hands. So
Mm-hmm.
what I say is maybe what's in your hand sometimes isn't good enough because we do the best and we don't know when we're doing our best, we don't know what we don't know. And you
Mm.
can't handle what you don't know. And so there's times because we've been made to be in relationship with other people. If we doubt it, look at what COVID did and look at the repercussions of mental health being separated. Sometimes we need a helping hand. And that's where I
Mm.
come on board as a therapist because there is this thing called insecure attachment.
Mm.
And how dare this person called John Bowlby back in the 40s try and define me and tell me if this happens in childhood and this is disrupted and the bonding doesn't take place well enough that you're going to go on to do your adult relationships like
Mm.
this and like that. And it's just, how dare you? How dare you try and put me in a box? I'm a complex. Oh my goodness, what you've just written is that describes me. Oh my goodness, that describes. I don't like this. I don't like this. And that was me, by the way.
Yes.
Um, and now I'm scraping the carpets with my fingernails because I ain't going over to those busybody therapist people to try and, anyway, I'm a complex being.
Mm.
Only Freud can unravel me.
Yeah.
And since he's around, nobody can help. And it's
Mm.
just with my own insecure attachment stuff, I'm in my 40s. I'm hemorrhaging
Mm.
because something is coming out of me, and I tend to use this as a description. It's
Yeah.
the Russian doll,
Yes,
and
the
there's something
babushka doll.
about stand. Yes, that's the other word that's used for it, and
Yes.
it's stand up the real Gary.
Mm.
And the problem is I don't entirely know which is the real Gary because what I do know is when I was born, that's the little Gary,
Yeah.
some stuff happened, and this little boy, this little baby, growing up as the little boy, the 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 year old, something was impacting his brain and some negative, impactful things was going on. And
Mm.
because it's a strange term, the brain doesn't like pain. What
Mm.
the brain does is to learn coping strategies to build layers and layers of protection around the inner child who is in here somewhere.
Mm.
And we try not to expose this inner child because he never wants to be hurt again with the
Mm.
disruption in the bonding that happened. Instead of calling this thing attachment, it's not what's on the can, on the label, attachment. That's not what you should call it. Detachment,
Mm.
loss, disruption. But it's not purposeful. It can happen even
Mm.
while baby is in the uterus and mum is going through some stuff where she didn't really want to be pregnant. Somehow baby starts to, and when baby is born and mum suffers postnatal depression, so she doesn't bond with baby, or baby has to be taken to an incubator, or as we grow up later on, baby is sent to boarding school, which
Mm.
acts as a wrench from the key caregivers, or one is an alcoholic or a drug taker that stops the the bonding, or one goes to prison that stops. There's all sorts of ways that the bonding gets disrupted. And then, so I'm not
Mm.
coming at it from a criticism, but the fact is it's happened, and the
Mm.
brain feels it as loss, and it learns to build layers of protection. So stand up the real Gary. Which one's going to stand up? Which is the real me? Which is the real me in here? And
Yeah.
so what I'm saying, Damian, is sometimes we need some help in something called therapy, called counseling, to help us process
Mhm.
those unresolved issues that our brain knows about, but we don't fully know about. We're just doing the best we can with life. And in fact, most of the time it's in nice boxes and we're getting on with life. It's okay. But there's times we lift our head and say, why do I do it like that? That
Mm.
criticism that just came from, say, a partner, actually, that was a bit over the top. Or I don't, but this is me doing life how I do life. What's the problem? I don't see it. Sometimes we can see it, but we don't know what it is. And this is
Mm.
where the therapist can help us. And this thing called insecure attachment, sometimes it needs some help to process it, to help our brain to begin to understand better the behaviors that we are using in adult relationships, which is often actually to control relationships because we don't ever want to be hurt again. And we
Mm.
don't realize we're controlling relationships in the mannerisms that we've learned and adapted. Oh, that's a whole lot of stuff.